Well, coffee time, and you certainly do need it this morning. Welcome to this week's episode. We're here at Lavelles. I thought I'd come fairly local. It's only about sort of 45-minute drive from me. Just an absolutely glorious morning. Thank God we've had a couple of those of late. So it's a case of I'm spending probably the day here, going from each of the hides maybe onto the bigger complex of lakes. But an amazing start. The lake is just partially frozen over. I think it's days like this that sort of really make it special for me. Well, let's see what comes. The relative peace of the morning was sharply broken by these Egyptian geese. It seemed as if the noise was reaching a crescendo just before they took flight. And with the frost-covered ground on the bund, just make out these 4 snipe. You just feel for the birds, or wildlife really, at this time of the year. Must be a real struggle for them to survive these sub-zero temperatures. And appropriately, in the name of the hide, teal hide, a pair came into land. It's a nice restful hour or so here, with the occasional buzzard flying past the hide. I decided to leave the hide and return to the initial position just to observe the birds as the frost left. And I was really surprised to see the number of snipe. So as the heron here just walks across, you can see him disturbing a couple of snipe in the background there, but to my estimation there's at least 10, 11 in front, with a couple or so behind, and the 4 that were still on the bund to the left-hand side. You're sort of looking at in excess of 14, which is probably the most I've seen in one session. And this was pretty interesting. You see the bright white of the little egret here, dwarfing the snipe. But you really do appreciate the oppressive camouflage. And as the little egret approached the heron, just thought that for one moment there was going to be a bit of a face-off, but the grey heron just seemed pretty unfazed. And the 4 snipe on the bund certainly seemed a little bit more active as the sun rose, and I guess feeding up in preparation for what could be another cold evening. I walked across to the other two lakes. One's called Black Swan Lake, and quite appropriately here, White Swan Lake, as these juvenile swans came in. It looks as if they've almost lost all of their brown feathers to be replaced by the adult white feathers. I decided to return back to the teal hide just for the last hour or so and noted this common buzzard being mobbed by the crows. Well, last cup of coffee. It's getting a little bit cold now. Been waiting here for the bittern. Managed to catch it the last couple of years. So this particular winter so far I've not seen the bittern, but this is a shot that I managed to get last winter from this same hide. And the year before on White Swan Lake, when it was frozen over, I managed to see a pair practicing their skating skills. Well, I think the highlight today has to be the snipe. So I haven't seen so many snipe in one place, I think. So that was a real highlight. And I suppose the weather this morning was just absolutely brilliant. That's one thing I certainly love. It's a real frosty, bright morning. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, big thumbs up, like and subscribe. And as always, it'd be great for you to join me in the next one.